feels weird being here without Mike. Oh, yeah. What am I doing here? I don't know. So Pastor Mike is in Korea, and I am here. I asked Chelsea to prepare that Soul on Fire song for this Sunday. I feel like this song is me a lot of the time. I feel like I'm running, and I'm doing, and I'm trying to find God's heart. And I try to the best of my abilities to make sure that the things that I say and the things that I do are an expression of what God would want me to say and do. And I want to be a soul on fire. But we aren't always on fire, are we? No, I heard a laugh. We can't, it's not sustainable. It can't always be on fire. But, and life is busy. We have all the ups and downs of our journeys. Sometimes we have to go through a valley, and there's sometimes a long, kind of winding, twisting road before we can get a view from the top of the mountain and feel that fire. But today we're celebrating a number of holy days, and along the way, wherever we are in our life, it doesn't matter right now if you're on fire at the top of the mountain or if maybe you feel like you're in a valley. These times come along every year, and we have these celebrations to remind us of special moments from the past. And we set aside these special days to remind us of who God is and of who we are in relationship to God and to each other. This year, we are celebrating 3 special holy days: the 65th Holy Wedding Anniversary of True Parents, the 58th Heavenly Parents' Day, and the 66th True Parents' Day. So, big days. And on top of that, this weekend is a very special weekend in itself. In Korea, our True Mother officially opened the Cheonwon-gung Cheonil Sanctum. So I want to share a little bit about these days and these events to give some perspective, and so that we can remind ourselves of the meaning of these days and our place in all of this. The first holy day that was established was Parents' Day, or now we call it True Parents' Day. True Father established it on April 10th, 1960. So that's already 65 years ago. And this actually took place the day before our True Parents' Holy Wedding. It signified that God had finally established his first son and daughter as the true parents of humankind. True Father later stated, I went to show this picture when I was talking about the entrance. Anyway, this is a new palace, Korea, beautiful. All right. True Father later stated, Parents' Day is the first time since God created all things and humankind that there is one balanced man, one balanced woman, balanced in love, to whom God can descend and with whom he can truly be. And then the next day, April 11th in 1960, marked the historic day in our unificationist tradition of the marriage supper of the Lamb. True parents joined in holy matrimony in the Champadong headquarters church. And, Pastor Mike is in Korea right now, and they participated in a pilgrimage, and he got to see the old church headquarters, Champadong Church, where True Parents were blessed. I remember back when Pastor Mike and I were staffing with the Blessed Teens Academy, and Jerry Tamayo, who was running it, got this inspiration, like, we need to go to Korea. And we did fundraising for months and months to take, 60 of us to Korea and spend 3 weeks there. And And even though it wasn't part of a pilgrimage, we kind of did our own pilgrimage. We went down to Busan, we saw the Rock of Tears, we went to Champedong headquarters, we went to Sodaemun prison, and it was, I was surprised by my experiences there. It's one thing to hear about these events. Oh, sorry, serious? You'll be back? It's one thing to hear about these events and to learn about the places and to see pictures on a screen, and it's another thing to actually be there in those locations and to like feel the weight of history in those times. Not too long ago, in 2020, True Mother talked about their the anniversary of their blessing. She said, the completion of the providence starts in the spring. The beginning and the completion should happen in the spring. That is why True Parents' Day and Heavenly Parents' Day should both be celebrated on the 16th day of the third month. And that's by the lunar calendar, so we're celebrating it in April. But I love this concept that the springtime is when things begin, but it's also like the completion. And so both of these holy days are really centered on like the maturing and the blessing of our true parents. And I think maybe for each of us, we have our own understanding or our own experiences with true parents. But whatever your experiences and understanding are, true parents are crucial to our faith. So I just want to share a little bit about what that means to me, that we have true parents, that we have had these events. First of all is just the understanding that this is what God was wanting from the very beginning, right? It's actually what God wanted for Jesus while he was on the earth. And understanding that Jesus' great sorrow was not actually that he had to go to the cross and be crucified. But Jesus' great sorrow was that he wasn't able to establish a family for God, not able to begin that on this earth. And that this is what God wanted for Adam and Eve from the very beginning. So only because of true parents, our true father and our true mother, are we able to celebrate these days, which also lead to Heavenly Parents' Day, which is the next holy day we're celebrating. So in 1960, right after True Parents' Holy Wedding, they proclaimed True Parents' Day. And then in 1968, True Parents founded it was God's Day at the time, right? God's Day, and now we call it Heavenly Parents' Day. True Father said, up until now, people have celebrated the days they were born and the days they were married. Nations celebrated days that were memorable for them. However, there has been no God's Day through which God was truly remembered while he was in attendance. True Father said that God's Day should have been celebrated and established for the first time when Adam and Eve completed their growth and perfected their individual states, and then came together centered on Heavenly Parent and received the marriage blessing. That would have been the original God's Day. Before God created all beings, he wanted to create God's Day. Like this was already something that God was looking forward to from before creation. Adam and Eve coming together with God and becoming parents was God's original purpose of creation. So we used to call it God's Day. Reverend Moon used to say there are so many national historical holidays and birthdays, but God is not the center of those days. So God's Day, or Heavenly Parents' Day, is a day to glorify and give honor to God, who is most deserving of honor and praise. And now we say Heavenly Parents' Day, acknowledging that God is not only the creator and all-powerful and omniscient and omnipotent, but even more importantly, God is in a relationship with us as a parent. The more if we just look at these holy days and think about what are the names of them and what dates were they established, it kind of seems like a history lesson. But the more I think about it, really, what is the significance? What is the value of these days? Is all of these holy days are about true relationships, right? Relationships with God and his children, the relationships of people on this earth together with each other, with God at the center. I mean, really everything that is, I think, of real value or importance in this world has to do with relationships. True Parents also reminded us you should have a yearning heart for holy days. Only by establishing such a tradition can you build a life of tradition for your descendants. Holy days should be spent in joy while sharing everything with one another amid the joy of heaven. So that's what we're going to do today. So not only these holy days, but actually this weekend is a special occasion in itself. In Korea, our True Mother has officially opened the Chonwanggun Chunil Sanctum. So there was actually a whole huge long document and PowerPoint. It was like a global service that was sent out. And we didn't use that as our Sunday service last Sunday. It was a lot. If you are interested, Pastor Mike and I can send it out to you. It's actually quite beautiful. There's a lot of really good information in there, a lot of really beautiful pictures. I'm just going to share a few of those things as part of my service today. This is a picture of the Chonwanggun Chunil Sanctum. So a few years ago, there was a completion of this palace being built in Korea. And the purpose of this palace was in part to be like a substantial home for God to live on this earth. To like have a place that we could say, this is yours, God. Because without that, we can say, God is in my heart, God is in my family, and that's where, we need that. But God created this whole beautiful earth from his heart, from his love, out of love for his children. But it's kind of been desecrated, right? It's been abused. It's been used for wrong purposes for thousands of years by humanity. So this is, in a way, claiming a section and this, God, we're giving this back to you. This is a place where you can live on earth. And then just this yesterday, True Mother dedicated this special part of the palace as the Chunil Sanctum. And I don't know if you can read it on the screen, but I'll read it here as well. This entrance ceremony will signify the full establishment of Heavenly Parents' position on earth. It will lay the foundation for the heavenly ideal, with true love serving as a new beginning, illuminating the future of humankind. Is that what that says? Nope. Okay, all right. I'll get there. Another part of the message says that True Mother has never regarded Heavenly Parents' kingdom merely as a spiritual belief or guiding philosophy, right? Those are good. We need to have spiritual beliefs and guiding philosophies. But Heavenly Parents' kingdom shouldn't just stay as that. Instead, She proclaimed the concrete and substantial establishment and settlement of Chanelguk. And Chanelguk in English translates more something along the lines of one heavenly nation. She has emphasized that the invisible heavenly parent must be manifested on earth, embracing all true sons and daughters as the true parent, and established a living, substantial kingdom of heaven on earth. Okay, here it is. At the heart of the Chunwanggung lies the Chunil Sanctum. The Chunil Sanctum holds two significant meanings. First, it is the sanctum built to attend our heavenly parent, the parent of all humanity. It transcends race, nationality, religion, and culture, allowing all people to realize and experience the fundamental true love and original ideal of creation. It serves as a central place for spreading this culture of heart in daily life. I love this explanation because I feel that that comes back to what I was just sharing about like the core of all of these holy days. And the reason we have these buildings is not it's not for a history lesson, or it's not just for the sake of saying we have this place, but the core of it has to do with our relationship with God, and a way to experience that more fully, a way to attend our heavenly parent more like substantially. From the very beginning, the heavenly parent envisioned a magnificent dream and created heaven and earth. After a long journey of 6,000 years, that dream is now being realized through the entrance ceremony, which is established at the heart of the cosmos. Our true mother will enter Chunwanggung as a tangible embodiment of the heavenly parent. The entrance ceremony is a cosmic and historic event. Oh, and here is a picture of the whole, so that the picture I just showed you was like a little part in the center of the building, and this is the whole thing. Oh, I think I split it up. This is the second part. I said there was two main significant meanings. Second, it is a sacred and holy space where the true sons and daughters of Chanelguk gather to offer praise and glory to Heavenly Parent and find comfort in Heavenly Parent's embrace. It is also a place where one can deeply feel true Parent's devotion and life works in guiding humanity as Heavenly Parent's children. In this sense, the Chunil Sanctum signifies that Heavenly Parent's true love and ideal of creation have been substantially realized on earth through true parents. And this is the whole thing. The entrance ceremony is a cosmic and historic event that fulfills Heavenly Parent's providence and perfects the love of humankind. It marks the beginning of life in the kingdom of heaven on earth, where we will now attend Heavenly Parent substantially. Following the entrance ceremony, Chunwanggung, which is Heavenly Parent's dwelling place, it will serve as the central administration of Chanelguk and as a global educational center for all humanity. Through this, the substantial providence of the governance of Chanelguk will officially begin. So this is just a little brief overview of kind of what this palace is, what its purpose is. And I recommend, if you're looking through the whole document, if you'd like, happy to send it to you. So I have to confess that myself, this has all felt pretty far away to me. We had our spring break, and I needed to drive my kids to be with my family in Missouri, and I did like 30 hours of driving there and back. Usually Mike and I take turns driving, and it's just me driving for like 15 hours. So I wasn't able to, watch the live streams or participate in a lot of this. And on on the kind of opposite side, I actually kind of indulged in one of my guilty pleasures yesterday, which is watching a romantic comedy. Mike is not so into romantic comedies, so like he's gone. I'm gonna do it. Oh, it's absolute trash, really. I mean, from like God's perspective, there is no need for these movies, but they're still entertaining. But so this has kind of been, I'm like keeping track of it. I'm reading the emails and I kind of know what's going on and I get that it's big. But for me, it was like not something that I felt very connected to. But I got a message from Mike last night. He just texted me like a couple sentences. He was like, "This has been really deep for me. And I want all of us to be here next year." It's just like 2 sentences in a text. But it kind of stopped me in my tracks because I know Mike, and I know that these 2 sentences, that there's a lot more behind those. And he's just so honest. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He can't. So I'm like, okay, there's something here, So as soon as I can, we get on the phone and we start talking. And he starts sharing about his experiences there. I'm going to let him share when he comes back. But something that I could just feel like emotion coming through his voice. And what I do get was that he has felt very just loved and embraced. Like undeserving love and embrace, and feeling very at home and at peace, and even a rekindled hope he feels for the possibility of our future, of our movement. And his inspiration and sincerity is just infectious for me. It's like I can feel his soul is kindling into a soul on fire. And even just through the text or through his voice, on the other side of the world, it's like there's already something there for me too. Our true parents have said our spouse is our second Messiah, and our children can be our third Messiah. But I've experienced it multiple times, and I really believe it to be true. There's nothing more romantic than talking to your lover on the other side of the world, being vulnerable and sharing your hearts. I was like, man, these romantic comedy people got nothing on me and Mike. All the good stuff happens in relationships. Anything that has any real value has to do with relationships, and any real goodness stems from our relationship with God and our relationships with each other that has God at the center. That is really what is at the heart of these holy days that we celebrate. Behind the ceremonies and behind the proclamations, it's all about true love. It's all about our relationships. So I feel like I'm just touching it from a distance. I'm excited to see Mike. I'm excited to hear from him. I'm excited for him to share and really get a taste of what his experience has been. But for now, let's celebrate these holy days together as a community, as brothers and sisters, as a family. Let's keep running for God's heart, longing for God's ways, until we can become souls on fire. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Parent, good morning. Thank you for a beautiful Sunday morning and this special day where we get to join together and dedicate this time, just really set aside this day to really give love to you, give honor to you, take this time to really acknowledge you as our Heavenly Parent, and that you are the origin of everything good in this world. You are the origin of our lives. If we have anything to be proud of in this world or in our lives, it's only because of you. And we want to give that honor and praise to you today as we celebrate True Heavenly Parents Day and Parents Day and your parents' wedding anniversary. Even if we might be in the valley, or even if we might not have that fire in our soul at the moment, God, we're still running for your heart. We are longing for your ways. We are wanting to be your children and express your true love in our daily life as much as we possibly can. So I pray that you can just join us today, be at ease today as you share in this time with us. And we give you all of our love. We offer this time to you. And I pray this in my name, Michael and Adonia Hendrick, Blessed and Chill family. Amen and adieu. All right, thank you.